Okay, Lotte Wubben-Moy, it is an absolute pleasure to be on this Gunner sofa with you. Let's get straight into it. Huge congratulations on your contract extension. I would like to know, has there been a moment when you were younger where you're thinking, I am North London forever?
If only that song had been a thing when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we've got an anthem so strong now and that everyone as a club can identify with. But looking back at my youth, it was walking down Upper Street, sort of like that magnetic pull towards Emirates. My auntie had a season ticket, so I would often join her. I'd actually like badger her to make sure I got to go to the games. But to me and for me, it's always been everywhere I look, everywhere I am. At school, it was only Gooners. We had a few Tottenham fans and a few West Ham fans, but in East London, in Hackney, and then at sixth form in Stoke Newington, like it was just part of the way of life. And I think I use like walking down Upper Street as an example of that. Like it is within the community, woven in, quite literally with the fabric. Walking down the street, you see so many Arsenal shirts, and that was something I always related to as a kid. Like I loved having the shirt on, having that identity and feeling part of something bigger than just me. And that ebbs and flows into, I think, how I feel connected to the club now, something bigger than just me, but also knowing that I'm giving towards something more feels special and actually gives you, I think, so much more worth and so much more motivation and drive.
You've always spoken so articulately, Lotte. Even hearing you talk now, I'm like just laughing. I'm hanging off every word. But when you're talking about identity and Upper Street, all of that is huge from your contract extension, the announcement, which, by the way, was incredible.
Thank you.
I'd love to get to know. I'm hearing you were a creative director of the whole thing, which is so cool. And when I'm watching it, it's authentically you. I'd love to know all of your ideas behind it. You put together the team, is that right as well?
Yeah, put together the team. It felt a bit like like choosing a five-side team. Like you get to bring all your mates together, talented mates, people that I'm really comfortable with. But looking at the contract as a whole, this club has always supported me, and I say that with the biggest smile on my face because it's allowed me to be me, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I think when you feel comfortable, when you feel empowered, like you're able to bring everything. And with the announcement video, it felt like a wonderful opportunity to connect deeper with the fans. I think so much can be said for there being a free-flowing sort of conversation. And I use the word conversation because it does genuinely feel like a back and forth from myself and from a lot of the players in the team with the fans. I wanted it to be genuine. It took me maybe like 2 weeks to write it.
That's still pretty fast.
I went over that edit just so many nights, and it never felt like I could completely do it justice, but I hope I did. Those words mean so much to me, and I put so much into it that I hope it encapsulates everything that I have done and will continue to do. And I think part of it also is an ode to the past. I mentioned Kelly, Yanks, and Alex in it, and I'll also allude to you, like your ability to trampoline off the past with players like yourself is something that is so important and something that allows us to compete every day on the pitch, but also connect more so with the fans because it's the people that make it, and that's how I feel about this club. It's the people that have allowed me to be me, and I hope will continue to allow every other individual in this team to be themselves too, because I know that if that's the case, then you're able to perform at the top and actually bring the performances that we need as a club and the standards that we set here.
It's so true that the connection with the fans is absolutely everything, whether it's connection with your teammates, players past, present, future, but you've always managed to do it in such an authentic way, whether it's this one, it's like even with your celebrations as goals, with this one, there's been so many that I can think of. How do you manage to do that so authentically? In the moment, are you seeing something and you think, that's such a great idea? It's the creative flex that you always do so naturally that I think everyone's in awe of.
I think it's interesting to hear you phrase it like that, to say that it's a thought that goes through my mind. It just is like an instinct.
Yeah.
And I think when you're out on the pitch, you know, like when you see a pass, you play it because it's like been driven into you. And my connection with Izzy, the young deaf girl, runs so like deep within me that in a moment of celebration, in a moment of pure joy, it feels like nothing else could be the case than just to share it with someone else and to elevate someone besides just me. And that goes back to how I feel about this club and how I feel about being able to be myself. I do that, and I do it for other people because again I don't feel like I am I wouldn't feel like I'm doing the club justice if I wasn't doing it like that. And even thinking back to like my creative director role, I think it's so important to sort of bring your side of things and to control your side of things because in many ways we're told to do X, Y, Z on the daily. You know, we're in a schedule. Yeah. We play a structure of football, but as much as you can find your way to be creative, bring your essence, bring your flow, it's something that I welcome and something that I think, as I've already said, like allows you to be you. And I think with that announcement video, and I think they're all small moments that can elevate, can bring something exciting, can create an even deeper connection with the fans. And yes, we play football, we're here to perform at the highest level, but like I say in the announcement video, sometimes 90 minutes isn't enough. And actually, as much as we can create more spaces for there to be inclusivity, for there to be greater celebrations of marginalised communities, I think the better, because that's when this game, the women's game, truly speaks to the world, and that's actually what we're trying to do, speak to the world.
No, it's genuinely incredible. The whole, you know, empty yourself, still feel full. I was watching and thinking, this is unbelievable, and it's true. The more you give, the more you get back, and it is this whole connection. Moving on to football, we're talking about celebrating little wins, and obviously amazing seeing you come back fit in a semi-final. We were both in the last semi-final. We all know how big that was and how much it meant. What's it like coming back being fit at crunch time and getting to a Champions League final?
Just quickly, I need to that semi-final.
Hey, the left foot assist though as well. No one remembers
beautiful
that.
Day. I think there's a lot to unpack there in terms of coming through adversity, going through an injury. I think every player will know that. You will know that. It's then always having perspective with it. I think throughout my time of injury, I then reframed my sort of energy exertion to how I can give to the team in a different way. I wanted to continue to be there. I was in almost every single meeting. I was there for the quarterfinals with Real Madrid. I was trying to elevate people, give them energy, empower them, because I know that, like you say, with little wins, there comes an accumulation. And actually, if you cast aside a small conversation or a small high five, actually then you're not doing the team justice. You're actually putting aside an opportunity to have a marginalised win. A marginal win, sorry. And that's kind of how I view, I think, everyday life, everyday sort of moments. I don't take any moment for granted. And that injury in particular, having that perspective from the side, one, gave me more energy, but two, made me want to give more energy. And then looking at coming back into the squad, I knew my role. I knew what I needed to do when I came on that pitch. Coming on in a semi-final, playing in a semi-final, full stop. I think every single player knew what they needed to do and actually lived it. And we saw that on the pitch, and it was a very special moment, not only for the players, for the fans who travelled, for the club as a whole, and everyone back here at Colney, even yourself. Like, it feels like we bring so many people along the journey with us, and that's a true win, I think, when you can share it with so many people. So it brings a big smile to my face, not only to think of past semi-finals. We talk a lot about history. It's about time we action it, 18 long years without a final appearance in the Champions League. It's about where we belong.
No, I'm smiling listening to you because it was such an incredible moment, and even thinking about having the time on the sidelines, and that's such a selfless way of looking at it. So it's a credit to you, absolutely. I'm wondering, how was Renee in that spell for you, kind of adjusting to you being injured and giving you little nuggets and supporting you in that way? Because she has been, the way she's taken this team from the start of the season to a Champions League final is incredible. How has she supported you through this year?
She wanted me in every meeting, and she wanted me to continue to give. She values my voice, and I think that's reflected in the way that my teammates feel about me. The amount of messages, the amount of congratulations I got after that semi-final win. We could have all been shouting about the fact that we were in a final, and yes, we were, but the amount of players and staff that came up to me and said, "That is so amazing that you are back on the pitch. I'm so happy for you." Like, those kinds of messages were huge, and Renee also, she knows how much this club means to me, and I think when you've got a player like myself and like you were also, that just feels so wholeheartedly integrated into the fabric of this club, you know that you can rely on that person, and I think I'm someone that people can rely on.
100%. Lastly, you're back fit, Champions League final, also a huge summer for England. What are you looking forward to the most, and to be back physically fit and ready for it?
So I feel quite lucky in a sense to have already been to a Euros, won a Euros and been to a World Cup. I've got a good amount of tournament experience, and I think when you go into a tournament like a Euros, you know that the intensity is going to be super high. You know that the demands are going to be extremely high, and you know that the whole world is watching you. I think playing for a club like Arsenal, the demands are always there and the standards are always there. So in a sense, it is a natural sort of flow going from this intense environment where you're pushing each other every day, taking that into the international stage. I think is an extremely easy step to do, but it's a step that I think allows you then to progress even more. And I think even looking at us as a club and England as a whole, as a national team, we've achieved, but I think the true sign of achievement will be if we can ramp it up again, not resting and taking the opportunity to show actually what we can do. And I think myself as an individual wanting to contribute to that and wanting to, like I say, progress, I think is an extremely important outlook to take on this Euros, and coming into the end of this season, feeling fresh, feeling fit. I'm excited to just let that continue to ramp and continue to bring the energy in the way that I know I can.
Well, I've no doubt you will, and as always, Lotte, it is an absolute pleasure to sit down and chat with you. You're a credit to yourself, you're a credit to this club.
Thanks.
And I wish you all the absolute best. Champions League final, Euros, the lot.
Thanks, my friend.
It's been a pleasure.
Lots more to give, exactly.